Okay, I think we're good. I think in the beginning it might be the video, it's a little buffering, but then it should.
The interviewer.
Let me turn off my camera on Skype, but we are good. We're live. So I'm just going to turn off mine from my Skype. I forgot to do that. So that should give us more bandwidth. Okay, yep.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everybody out there. I'm Dina Olivares from Byteflow Dynamics. Today, as every day, we have Andy Shepu, also from Byteflow. Hello, Andy. How are you?
Hello, Gina. Good.
Good, good. How is it going over there? I knew that it was snowing yesterday.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love the snow.
Okay.
Snow in New York City.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful sights that you can have. So today, everybody out there, we want to invite you to an event that we're going to have the 30th and 31st of December.
I love
The
this
name is Data Baron
New
Run. Probably you have heard of it
It is one of
before. It's an event that we have when we invite
name the
people
event
to come
we have
and share
where
their experiences with
we invite
ourselves,
a lot of
prepared by our
people to come and share their experiences with our tender.
Today, I want to talk with you and ask you some questions about who is
I want
designed
to
this session
talk
for and
with you
what can
and
you
then
get,
ask you some
and
questions
also feel
about and what
if it is only for very specific people or who can attend this event.
who can
Let's start with the what first. What the event
The
is
what.
for those who don't know what the what is.
The what is Data Baron the Run.
Yeah.
And
So
basically is deep dive into
what
AI
is
to set
is
yourself
data around the run
up
and
success
basically
in the age
is
of AI.
deep dive
yes.
to
Sounds really,
AI to set
really,
yourself
really nice.
Yeah. So
for success in the age
so the
of
idea
AI.
is
Sounds
to,
really,
and we've done
really, really.
this
But what
before a lot. We're just bringing it back. So to put together one session for any professional who interacts with data, is in business in general or research, and is wondering what AI can do for their field. So the session, it's I think 3 hours we said, but it might be like 3 to 4 hours. So the session, it's
Okay.
we start with business case studies, our business case
Okay.
studies. So we go through like somewhere like maybe like 8 to 10 different case studies, starting from, okay, what was the problem, like defining the problem statement, and then our methodology on going from the problem statement to raising the hypothesis, and then eventually building, whether it's a product, a prototype, or just diving into the data for some insights. So that way
So
you get an idea from different fields. So you get to see what is being done in healthcare, what is being done in finance, in hedge funds, in politics, and then you get ideas on if any of those things can be applied to your case. So whatever it is that you are working on, or if you're like thinking about moving into this space, is that something that you see yourself in? And so like basically like learning enough so that you know what is being done out there. So that's the first phase,
Okay.
like kind of like a little bit more just case studies, pure case studies, and then moving into more hands-on, where we actually do go through machine learning 101, data science 101. So it's like, okay, like these are 5 algorithms that we tend to use a lot, and we are going to walk you through the process of actually building an algorithm from scratch. And I think it's important.
and this is in
No, go
no,
on.
no,
Yeah, I
go
think
on.
it's important to see
Probably
it.
you're gonna
Yeah, I
answer
think it's
my
important to
question.
see it so that you're not like, it's not magic. So it's like good to see what's under the hood, basically. So like you
Okay.
have all of these products. It's nice to first see to hear about the process and the problems that we have been solving, but then also to kind of like see a little bit what's under the hood. That can help you figure out whether, like, if you're thinking about moving into that space, like, okay, maybe that's like too much math or too much code, or like actually it seems like it's actually quite easy for you. So that's one.
Yeah.
but also if you're investing, if you're an investor and then you want to get an idea into those products. So that's the what basics. So it's like half a day of case studies, workshops, and then diagnostic. The diagnostic, it's where for each case study and then for each algorithm, you get enough time to think about how that might apply to something that might be of interest to you.
Okay.
So, and then we can have like a short session on those one-on-one cases.
One-on-one. And for example, this is important. My question before was, for example, this is important because not necessarily one of the cases, for example, it was implemented, some algorithm has been implemented for, I don't know, hedge funds.
Yeah.
Okay? But probably if you are a researcher or maybe
you work in the healthcare field,
probably the same solution of this specific case can be implemented in your field.
I'll tell you.
Right?
So when we so actually the first time that we did this deep dive, we were going through the background of the attendees, and then we saw that. So in one case, we had someone with like 20 years of experience in finance. And then I had a phone call with him ahead of time to see like, okay, what he's working on and what he wanted to see, if he wanted to like just be like around like finance and hedge funds. And he said, no, he's like, I want to see everything. And what happened actually was that after that session, he was more interested in a case study that we had done in the media and politics space and data visualization. Because then he was able to use that for his business. So you can get all of these ideas, and then you can see like what can you bring in to like from all of those case studies, from all of those products and services, what you can bring into your space.
Okay, that's nice. So for example, about the people who can attend this session, my idea, for example, is, as you said before, investors, also entrepreneurs.
So yeah, we can start with them. So maybe we can start on one by one. So on investors and entrepreneurs, I think that's one of the we usually get a lot of those people. It's important because either they have already invested in something around AI or they are thinking about investing. So the same thing in this case, they get to see what's being done, but also to form some relationships so that in the future, if they need an advisor, if they need to build a team, if they need like just like a diagnostic session on their existing product, or if you're an investor and you're interested in like in the future, like you just want to invest in AI products. And it could also serve as a way for you to educate yourself so you can make better decisions like when you look into these products.
And for example, we can always be like a consulting agency for investors, for example, in their future projects and things like that. Okay, that is really nice. And for example, another persons can attend researchers, because in that sense, we used to be scientific researchers, and I've seen. Actually, we discussed about this yesterday. We've seen how AI has been implemented in some laboratories out there. And how can AI help the research labs? In that sense.
Yeah, that's actually so the same thing that is happening on the business side is happening on the research labs, where you have certain labs that are moving ahead very fast, and they are implementing very novel ideas using AI and machine learning. And the return on investment for them is like 10x, in that they're publishing papers that are by far, they have so much more value than another research lab that maybe using more, maybe like the methodologies are not as much up to date.
Okay.
So again, it's also like for them. So if you're a research scientist, or if you're even if you're a PI, like maybe you're not going to like yourself actually move into the space, but like for you to give direction to your lab.
Also, in that sense, can be discussed, for example, the training part for their students.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, well, it can be, we can offer that too, and it would be a good question for them out there if they think if they are thinking in moving to AI and data science products, if they can provide the right teaching experience for their students,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it could be as
So,
simple as, okay, also like here's like the one or two books that you might need, and these are like the three chapters that you might actually need to look into it, at least like to get started. So even just that
okay.
can save like a lot of time.
I'll, yeah,
Yeah.
time and yeah, of course. And also analytics, I don't know, managers, directors, CEOs in already established companies.
Yeah, for
Can they come?
yeah for managers, of course, because they have budgets and they need to get an idea on like we're moving into the new year, and you have a budget
Yeah,
for analytics, you have a budget for IT for new initiatives, and like how do you go about it? Like what kind of, like, once you know what's being done and then you educate yourself enough, you can make more well-informed decisions on the kind of teams that you should be building, what the kind of products that you should be investing in. So should you be hiring a data engineer versus a data scientist, and so on. So basically, yeah, for them to educate themselves enough to make those decisions.
uh-huh.
And also, if they do have an ongoing project, to give them enough of a, like, some small of a roadmap in, like, okay, like this is what you have right now, or based on the idea, like here's a roadmap on like where this product can be and what do you need, what kind of resources you need to push that forward.
And for example, if I'm a manager, right, and I go to this session and I have ongoing projects inside my company, and I want to discuss with you that you're going to be hosting, right? You can help me to give me these roadmaps, right? To see if it is a good lead, what I'm taking inside my company or inside my
Exactly.
department and things like that.
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And but
I'm not
also, like, so the so this session, it's not on, this is for, it's general in the sense that you don't need to have a background in programming,
okay.
or like you don't need to be a coder, you don't need to be a programmer or a mathematician or a statistician. So like giving you enough, it's more about the big picture and learning
Yeah,
enough so that you can make those decisions moving forward.
yeah. In that sense, probably what you want to do, and we at the company want to do, is for those people that who is familiar with companies out there, and as we said, are implementing right?
Yeah.
So it's in our, and it is in the sense of the that idea that we have, that we like to teach what we
Yeah.
know, right? So it is available for everybody out there. Now, in that sense, for example, universities, personal universities, in the in charge of
Provosts. Yeah.
in the provost office
Yeah,
in
that
charge.
one is big. So for them, it's that because they're building new departments,
Yeah,
so you're always, things change, so you try to adapt your programs based on what is changing, but also not losing the value of the university. Because I've had a few conversations with provosts in that, okay, like you do want to adapt your programs, but you don't want to lose the value of the education, of a general education, because certain things come and go, so you don't want to go too far in that direction. So for them, yeah, so like to learn like what is possible, so then they can decide, like, okay, like what kind of programs they can add, what kind of workshops they can add into their curriculums, both for the students but also for the faculty. So that's the idea. And for those, but also for career, those who are thinking of switching careers, so maybe you are working on like an adjacent space.
uh-huh.
So maybe you are working as a data analyst, or maybe you are working in like some
Yeah,
finance, and you're wondering whether this is a good space for you. I think this is a good place to start, so that you don't get so caught up on just one, like, small things. You don't get so caught up in like the coding or the programming or the machine learning. But at least like this way you get to ask good questions. And sometimes it might be that maybe it is the right career path for you, but maybe like another thing that you might decide to do is that you might convince your department to hire someone that you can collaborate with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
So
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
think that is really
no, I
interesting
think that
because
is really interesting
what
because
what
what
can
can
happen
happen
sometimes,
sometimes,
for
for
example,
example,
is
is
that
that
you
you
are
are
working
working
in
in
a
a
company,
company,
then
then
your
your
field
field
or
or
your
your
area of
area
action,
of
right?
action,
It's
right?
very, it tends to
It
shrink,
tends to
yeah,
shrink,
right? Because you
right?
work
Because you
every day in
work
the same
every day
things.
in the same
So
things. So
decision will give
this
the
session will give
opportunity
the opportunity to
data scientists,
data
or as you say,
scientists, or as you
analysts,
say, analysts, and so on,
to
to
to get to know
to
other
get to
people
know
who is
other people
implementing
who is
this
implementing this
data science or
data
AI
science
product
or AI
in different
products
fields,
in different
how
fields,
yeah,
they are
how they are
implemented, and
implemented,
of course
and of course
you will have the
you will
opportunity
have
to
the
know
opportunity to
more
know
people
more people
in different fields.
in
I
yeah,
different
think that
fields.
is really
I think that is
important
really really
because
important because
as we said
as we
sometimes, we
said
tend
sometimes, we tend to uh,
shrink our
shrink
circle,
our
mm-hmm,
circle,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
And maybe you want
And
to
maybe
grow,
you want to
and you
grow,
want
and you
to move on,
want to
or you
move
want to
on,
grow
or you
inside
want to
your
grow
company,
inside
but
your
you have to
company,
offer
but you have to
different
offer
things. Actually,
different
we
things.
talked about
Actually,
this
we talked
yesterday,
about this
that
yesterday,
you need the
that you need
extra,
the extra
that extra
that
ingredient.
extra
additional
ingredient
value,
in order to
always
keep growing.
additional value.
Yes.
So the additional value could be like knowing the right person even for a simple phone call.
Yeah,
Like if you're
exactly.
Yeah,
implementing
exactly.
something and then maybe you never did anything in cloud computing, but like just knowing someone who can like get on a call with you, like just those things are very important.
Yeah.
Yep.
uh,
Okay.
so that
Okay.
those, and then the other group,
Now,
so there's also like one other group, right? So even like for the practicing data scientists, so if you are
Uh-huh.
practicing,
uh-huh.
you are hands-on, you're working in a position, what usually happens is that especially for a large corporation, you are working in a narrow field. So maybe you're working in finance and you
Yeah.
Yep.
have an ongoing project that's been going on for maybe like 1 or 2 years, and you want to see what other projects are out there. Like maybe you want to switch from finance into another area, so you just want to see what else is out there that might catch your interest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
that is
really
really
interesting.
interesting.
And we also want to
So,
meet all the other data scientists out there so that we
Yeah.
can
yeah.
also collaborate in the future. So maybe it could be that we might learn something from them, and
No,
then
No, that
maybe we
is the
can
maybe.
idea
hire them
also.
for certain projects.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
is
is
the
the
idea.
idea,
I
I
think
think,
from
from
our
our
part
part,
is
is
to
to
get
get
to
to
know
know
as
as
many
many
people as
people as
possible who is
possible who
interested
is
in this kind of
interested
topics, no?
in this
Because
kind,
it
help
helps us
us
to
to
learn
learn
also,
also.
and
And
we
we
like
like
to
to
collaborate
collaborate with
different
different
in
in
different
different
fields
fields
with
with
different
different
data
data
scientists and
scientists and
so
so
on.
on.
Yeah. So
We have
We
a
then,
have
lot
a
of
lot of
collaborators in
collaborators
that
in that
sense.
sense.
yeah.
Then
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
that's
having
right.
all of this and then making it so we have the hands-on part, the educational part,
yeah,
Yep.
and then going through like giving it enough time for to diagnose your ongoing, like whether it's a career or a project, and give you
yeah,
some
Yeah.
direction. But then like a little bit of like having a little bit of fun too, because sometimes like and even more ideas actually come when you relax a little bit.
yeah,
Yep.
Because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not all about the coding, it's not all about the math, it's not all about, sometimes it's just asking good questions to the right people. So that's why we do have the last hour. It's usually so the like the 1 to 2. It's usually like having a cocktail, but like a,
Ah,
Ah,
yes, but like a
yeah.
really good
yeah,
cocktail.
that was
Next
next
question,
question
because
because
the
the
name of
name
the
Yeah.
of the
event is
event,
Data Bar
Data
on the
Bar on the
Run.
Run.
Where is
Where is
the?
the? I was
Ask
gonna
you
ask
where
you where
the
the
bar
bar
part
part
comes in.
Yes.
comes in.
Yeah.
So
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 we used to
the
do.
last
Yeah. Yeah.
hour.
So the
Mhm.
idea behind actually, yeah. So the last hour is basically so we do like a really good cocktail. Uh, we change it, so I haven't decided what the next cocktail is going to be.
the one
Um,
that you
The
offered
one
the
that
other
you
day,
offered the
the
other
probably.
day,
succession.
the
Yeah, I like that one
succession.
actually. It's
Yeah.
good. It's still my favorite cocktail right now. Like I haven't moved on from it until I find something else. So I'm experimenting on a couple of other
Yes.
cocktails.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so then like that's also like very important, like how to make it so that you're bringing people together and then letting them like exchange ideas and exchange contacts and so on, so that in the future And like even just that, so like it, so yes, the learning parts, but like
Yeah, it's
focusing so
important.
much on just the learning, you stress yourself out that you think that okay, either you're not good enough or like, so getting more perspective from other people and getting some feedback also from them. So that's where the bar comes in.
The bar comes in. Okay.
Yeah, and if you look up the hashtag data bar on the run, we used to do a lot of events. This one is slightly different. So this one is a deep dive. The other
Uh-huh.
ones, they were more on the seminar and just going into different offices and kind of like explaining what we do and then just meeting different people. So we used to go around New York, like we've probably done like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 of those events.
Okay.
Okay.
We were very popular.
At
At
some
some
point.
point.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think it's a great idea in the sense of
They used to think that we ran a cocktail bar, or they used to think like most like even like my clients that at a certain point like okay, so you guys are a bar company,
or
so that's a separate thing. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's a
no, it's a
separate thing,
separate
and I
thing,
think
and I
it's a
think it's a
great
great
event
event
because,
because,
as
as
you
you
said,
said,
in
in
the
the
last
last
hour
hour
when
when
you
you
have
have
the
the
cocktail
cocktail
thing
thing
going
going
on,
on,
in my
in my
experience
experience as a when I used to be a researcher,
for example,
some of the
events that
events
I
that I
organize
organize
as a
as a
researcher,
researcher, there is, for example, I don't know if you remember the poster sessions in the conference and things like that.
yeah,
When
So
you
when you
offer,
offer,
nobody's
nobody's
going to
going to get
get drunk, right?
drunk, right?
But you
But
offer
you
like a
offer like a
cocktail or a
cocktail or
beer
a
or
beer
something
or
like that
something
during
like that
these
during these
sessions,
sessions,
everything
everything
became
became
really
like really
relaxed,
relaxed.
and the
And the
students that
students
were
that were
presenting, for
presenting, for
example,
example,
they were
they were
more
more
enthusiastic
yeah,
enthusiastic
by
by
yeah. The
exchanging
exchanging
exchange
ideas
that's
with
when it.
students,
Mhm.
with
the researchers,
researchers,
and
and everything
everything
was
was
more, yeah,
Yeah,
relaxed. Sorry
for
for
repeating the
repeating the
word,
yeah,
word,
but
but it was,
it
it
is a
is a
very
very
nice
nice
yeah,
experience
experience
when
when
you
you
have
have
this
this
moment
moment
of
of
conversation
conversation
among
among
everybody with
everybody
the
with their
experiences,
experiences,
but in
but
a
in a
relaxed way.
relaxed way.
yeah,
So I
So I
think
think
that one
that
is
one is
really
really,
really
really
important.
important.
And
And
one of
one
the
of the
most
most
important things
important
that I
things that
have
I
to
have to
do to
do to
you,
you,
uh,
uh,
when is it
when
gonna
is gonna
happen? The
happen? The
30th and the
30th and the
31st. What
31st?
yes.
What
time?
time?
So it's going to be 10 to 1. It's going to be the workshops, and then 1 to 2, it's the cocktail hour.
The
The
cocktail
cocktail
hour.
hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
And where is it
and
gonna
where is
take
it
So
gonna
place?
next
take
to
place?
between Bryant Park and Times Square.
Okay. That
Okay,
is really
that
nice.
is really
And
nice.
tickets
And
are
tickets are
available
available
Yes,
on Eventbrite,
Eventbrite.
right?
on Eventbrite
Yes.
On
and
Eventbrite,
on
and
our
on our
webpage. We're
web page, we're
gonna upload
gonna
all
upload
the
all
information
the
that we have
information
said
that we
here,
have said here,
in case you wanna
in case
visit
you want to visit
later.
later.
And we're gonna be
And we're gonna
promoting
be
it.
promoting it.
It's gonna be the
It's
30th
gonna
and
be
the
the 30th and the
31st, and
31st,
we would
and
be
we
really,
would
really
be really,
happy
really
if you
happy
join
if
us.
you join us.
Either you
Either
are
you
a
are a
CEO, a data
CEO, a
scientist,
data
a
scientist, a
researcher, an
researcher, an
investor,
investor,
right?
right,
Or a
or
member of
a
the
member of the
educational field.
educational field.
We're gonna be
We're
more,
gonna be
more,
more,
more than
more,
happy
more
to
than
have
happy
you there. And also is to celebrate
Yeah.
the year. Yeah.
Yeah,
to have
I
you
think it's a
there.
pretty good way to
And
kind of
also
to
is
set
to
yourself
celebrate
up for the
the
for the new year, and but also like how like not to be intimidated by it. So if you've never done anything in this space,
yeah.
like how not to be intimidated by new things. And the more you open up, the more you even just like being exposed to new ideas and new fields, like you just get more confidence. You become more confident. You're like, okay, it doesn't seem that bad. Like even if you don't do it in the future, but you know someone who can do it, like that, like just that confidence, like feeling good about like what is being done, and that it is possible. It's not magic. That yeah,
And also it's
And
not
it's not only for companies like Google or Netflix or big companies, right?
no,
These products are available for everybody
out there
out
who is
there
willing to take the
who is
jump,
willing
right?
to
To
take
jump
bite,
to this new era. And I think
to
it
jump
is
to this
a
new
really
era.
nice way to
And I
end
think
the
it is
2020.
yep,
So I don't know if we have questions in our webpage and our channel. No, we don't have. But we're gonna be
a nice way
posting.
to
Remember, guys,
begin
it
the
is the 30th and the 31st from 10 to 1. And from 1 to 2 is the drinking time, the cocktail hour. And we invite everybody out
I don't
there.
know
Tickets are
if
available on Eventbrite. You can find the event, Data Bar on the Run. And we're gonna keep posting all the information in
questions
our webpage and
in
in our
our
social
website
media.
and
So one more thing,
Uh-huh.
our Christmas present for
Yes.
everybody out there. Yes, to keep promoting our Christmas present for from bike clothes to everybody out there. If let's say you cannot attend to this event, this event that is gonna take place the 30th or the 31st because maybe you're busy because you have family things going on. We invite you to sign up for the free
but
advisory
we're
call,
gonna be
right? The free
posting it
advisory call, either
the
on a phone call or a Skype call, where you can get advisory from me, from
third
Andy, depending on
in
your
our
field, and our,
phone call of our experts at the
company.
company.
So the way
So
to
the
get
way
it
to get it
is
is
to sign
to
up a
sign up
form
a
that is all
form
over our social media.
that is all
I'm
over
gonna post also the link here.
our
But
but
you
you can
can have your
have your
advisory if
advisory
you are
if you are